Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Wednesday and welcome back to Journey Through the Runes. This week we're taking a look at Gebo, which is the 7th of Freyr or Freya's 8 and the 7th of the Elder Futhark. At its core are the ideas of gifts, generosity, and hospitality. This is a rune that you definitely don't mind seeing pop up in a spread because it's a signal of goodwill being put into action, whether you're on the receiving end of that or if you are the one providing it. Gifts can come in a variety of forms. Sometimes we receive gifts in the form of lessons, and we're not always grateful for those lessons in the moment, but once the lesson is learned and we have to call upon what we gained through that lesson, oftentimes with hindsight, there's reason to be very grateful for any of the challenging learning curves we've experienced. Other times, gifts come to us far more gently, or we possess gifts innately, and it's all about making the most of such gifts and producing a good effect by improving our character or being a beneficial influence on our circle of acquaintance. Hospitality is a concept that has been falling by the wayside in many ways, and I wonder if Gebo might be appearing to people a bit more often in order to urge people to resurrect that spirit. Far too many people have reduced relationships to purely transactional affairs, and it's becoming increasingly rare for hospitality to be displayed just as an expression of goodwill for a new acquaintance or as an act of friendship or familial affection. This is not how our ancestors conducted themselves in their societies, and for good reason, because a cold, detached, conniving spirit leads to unstable situations. And when you consider how vulnerable our ancestors were just to the elements, it makes a lot of sense that they would have no interest in drumming up unnecessary difficulties and drama within human relationships. They had enough to contend with. Now, hospitality, the breaking of bread together, looking after those you care for in difficult times, these are things that can help cement relationships and make them real, give them depth. Even something as simple as inviting someone over for dinner, however simple that meal might be, it is still a gesture that shows you consider someone's presence in your life worth going to a little bit of extra work. Think of the vulnerability we hear people routinely express on being uncertain in their relationships and their own value as a human being, and whether or not there's any sort of place for them in the world, any place at all. If people were not so atomized, do you think that those feelings would be as common? If giving and receiving of hospitality was more common, would this sense of isolation be so rampant? Gebo does challenge us to reflect on these things. Now, in a reading, when Gebo makes an appearance, the surrounding runes will be quite helpful in both providing context for what Gebo is trying to convey, but also what aspect of your life will benefit the most from displaying the qualities that Gebo represents. So let's briefly discuss just three possibilities. Possibility one, to do with gift giving and gift receiving. The other runes will hopefully provide a clue whether you're meant to be doing the giving or getting the receiving, or if there's a need for just kind of a fair exchange. If you consulted the runes about a relationship that's in trouble, Gebo may well signal that there's a need for greater give and take and mutuality between both parties. Possibility two, generosity. This may involve giving of material resources or the doing of good works, or just by showing a greater generosity of spirit, being kinder, more understanding, becoming more reasonable. This may be as simple as making the effort to become a better listener instead of just, while someone else is talking, just kind of half tuning them out, just deciding what you're going to say next. Instead, absorbing what they're saying, thinking about it, and actually responding to them, and not be so concerned with, the scoring of points for your viewpoints. And then possibility three, to do with hospitality, learning to graciously accept kindness from others and also learning how to extend hospitality to other people. This is walking the talk of paganism, investing, for some of us perhaps the first time in a real way, in forming real relationships, making a proper effort, making the home a place you're not ashamed to bring visitors, and making the enjoyment of people's company as the central intention for such affairs. So that's what I get out of Gebo. Leave your own impressions for me and your own experiences of working with this rune in the comment section below, or come see us on Gilded. There's a link in the description box to join the group. It's called Blackbird's Brew, and you'd be very welcome. But that will do it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye.